Joining us are Dan and Bonita Frawley, our new mayor of the city of Wilmington, and his wife. Dan, Bonita, welcome to Focus, Delaware.
Great to be here, Bob.
I want to start off with the boss of this unit, if you don't mind, Dan.
Let me defer to Bonita in that case.
Bonita, I ask you a few questions. When did you two first come to Wilmington?
We came to Wilmington about 1973-74 with the Homestead drawing. Dan was in Wilmington a little bit before I was, working for DuPont, but we came as a family in 73. We won the Dollar House on 10th and Monroe Street.
That was the first one. Mm-hmm. Was that a challenge to get in there and fix that up?
It was really a challenge. Everyone told us we were crazy. That was the other challenge, to convince them that we weren't. Mm-hmm. And it was exciting, and I thought the architecture in Wilmington was beautiful, having been sort of a traveling European traveler in my college days, and I thought the architecture in Wilmington was beautiful, and I couldn't see what people were complaining about. I thought it was a lovely neighborhood, even though it was boarded up. So we really enjoyed all of our experiences.
And you were very active with the beginning tours, which were the predecessors, the precursors of Cityside.
Well, as part of trying to convince other people that this was really a wonderful place to live, we did get involved in Cityside, which had started, a group of people that were interested in renovating the city had started the organization, and we came in as some of the first members and started the house tours and tried to convince people to look at the homes in the city, to appreciate what was there and not just turn.
Now, Bonita, you must have the toughest job in the world. Now you're the mayor's wife, you're a working mother, you've got 2 kids. How do you handle all that?
Well, I scream a lot. And I also try to have my own life a little bit. Try to make time for my career when I'm at my job. That's the most important thing. When I'm at home, that's the most important thing. And so that's sort of how one juggles things.
How old are your boys?
Our children are 5 and 6.
Boy, tough. Ours are 2.5 and 1. I know how that goes.
They're a bundle.
Let me turn to your better half here, Mr.
Bigger
Frawley.
half.
Bigger
better
half. I was trying to be kind. Dan, I want to talk to you with our series that's now underway, The Changing Face of Wilmington. I want to talk to you about economic issues facing the city of Wilmington. Now, many proposals have been put forth by the Reagan administration, freezing or cutting federal spending and for the reorganization of the federal tax structure, which would have a severe negative impact both on state and on municipal and local governments. Delaware has been especially effective in tapping into that federal dollar, that channel called UDAG dollars. If it's terminated, how is Delaware going to stay on the forefront of its continued prosperity and development in the post-UDAG period?
Well, for one thing, you're very much on target, Bob, with your comment about the UDAG and its effect on our economy in Wilmington. I could tick off real quickly for you the Hercules building, the Radisson Hotel, Wilmington Trust, Adams 4, which is a new shopping center that's now under construction. And there have been many more where the Urban Development Action Grant, which is a low-interest loan to the developer, which the city in effect sponsors, and the loan is made by the federal government, those projects have actually been responsible for the development of thousands of jobs in the city of Wilmington. They have been used by the private developer in effect to make the decision to locate in Wilmington rather than in Fort Worth, Texas, say, in the case of Hercules, or to move out of the area, or to move out of the city. So the Urban Development Action Grant has actually been the backbone of our economic development program.
And haven't we been more successful in getting UDAG dollars than any city in the country per capita?
We have the highest per capita dollar UDAG recipient status than anyone in the country,
so
basically.
Now, how do we survive in the future?
Now, we are, of course, deeply concerned about the current Reagan proposals to cut that program, because it is intended for urban areas so that they can, in effect, compete effectively with the cheaper land that exists in rural areas or suburban areas. So we're going to be lobbying extensively in Washington through our delegation. We happen to know that Senator Biden and Senator Roth and Congressman Carper are well informed and well aware of the great progress we've made in the city through UDAGs, and we're hopeful that they'll continue their support for our efforts in this area to see that these programs are not eliminated.
But suppose
if
they are
successful. Let's take the doomsday scenario.
Okay.
The one encouraging thing is now that we have developed a considerable momentum in the city of Wilmington. We have an excellent working relationship with the governor's office, with the county executive's office, and the mayor's office. And we have many services and amenities in the city of Wilmington that, particularly in the financial services area, we're able to attract people perhaps without UDAG assistance. And in fact, just in the last couple of weeks, I've been speaking with certain financial institutions who are interested in locating in Wilmington, and they will not require UDAG assistance to locate here. But I think that is not the rule, rather that is the exception. It will be that much more difficult for us in a, quote, post-UDAG period for us to be able to attract businesses, whether it be in the banking industry or whether it be in the trucking business or in some other blue-collar area. We also hope to use the UDAG to encourage those kinds of businesses to come to Wilmington if the program is continued. So we're very concerned about its fate, which now hangs in the balance in Washington.
Let me turn to another issue right now. Tax reassessment. Dan, we've got a situation where there's been a tax reassessment, there's been a lot of improvement in property in the city of Wilmington. Might not severely increasing taxes negatively impact upon the development of our city?
Well, there's no doubt that should there be a disparate impact, that is to say, an unequal treatment of the city versus the county as part of the Newcastle County tax reassessment, that this would impose a very heavy burden on the city of Wilmington. There's no question about that. I've been assured by the Collins administration and by the incoming Justice administration, some of the key people will be staying on, Bill Graydon, who's the Director of Finance for Newcastle County, that the city will get a fair shake in terms of our reassessment situation. So I think it's fair to assume that the city will follow the same kind of reassessment pattern that we see in Newcastle County. And for general illustration purposes, the county tax people have been saying that we expect 1/3 of the properties to go up in value, 1/3 to remain the same, and 1/3 to go down. So as long as we follow that general pattern, I do not think we will be hampered.
Okay, we're running out of time, but I want to ask you one final question. Dan, we're seeing the development of, the city has its priority on the development of the Brandywine Gateway and the Christina Gateway. Brandywine Gateway has its own impetus now. Christina Gateway, the city is trying to aid its impetus in moving the city county building there, and beneficial National Bank moving down there, and other projects moving down there. There are those critics, such as Ed DeSeta, who would say you're looking at the wrong direction. You ought to first put your focus on the Western Gateway, i.e. the area around the Delaware Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue area off 95, where he has certain projects and other builders have certain projects. Witness Jefferson Plaza and the Park Plaza, which is now the general division. Might not the city be putting its focus on the wrong spot at this time? Should we be looking at the Western Gateway now next as opposed to Christina Gateway, and if so, why, and if not, why?
Well, first of all, the city made a strategic planning decision many years ago to try to develop the Christina and Brandywine gateways and basically connect everything in between, making that the core commercial area of our city. There's been a lot of resistance to that concept. In fact, I think, as you point out, the Eddie DeSeta, who's done a great job, by the way, in the city of Wilmington with his development efforts, he and others feel that the more logical area is what you might call the Western Gateway, or the western area of the city, as in the Chase building. My concern is that we really started out with a fine strategic plan. I think we should stick with it. If peripheral development such as the Western Gateway occurs, then so be it. But I think we need to continue our efforts in the Christina Gateway.
Dan and Bonita, thanks for coming on Focus Delaware to share your ideas and information with us.
Great to be here.
When Peggy and I return, we'll be telling you about next week's show. Stay with us.